In this video, we'll be taking a look at 5 MLB games happening on April 14, 2025, and providing you with free team picks and total picks for each one of those games, so 10 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released, so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these 5 MLB games after fully watching this video. One more thing before we start. If you would like to gain access to our best exclusive sports picks to take your journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below, where we offer our best single picks, parlay picks, and much more. Now let's get started. Detroit Tigers versus Milwaukee Brewers. The Detroit Tigers, sitting at 9-6 on the season, are heading out on the road again. This time to face off with the Milwaukee Brewers, who come into this series with an even 8-8 record. This marks the opening game of a fresh interleague showdown. Detroit just wrapped up a solid series win in Minnesota, taking 2 out of 3 from the Twins. Meanwhile, Milwaukee had a rough go of it in Arizona, dropping 2 out of 3 games against the Diamondbacks. Last season, these teams faced off 6 times and split the series evenly at 3 games apiece. Milwaukee is coming off a tough weekend, and they're not catching a break heading into this one. They'll have to deal with one of the most effective starters in the league right now. Tarik Skubal is known for getting batters to chase and miss, and that could spell trouble for Chourio, who's eager to swing at just about everything. That matchup favors the Tigers, and Skubal's experience compared to the Brewers' relatively young lineup should give him the edge. On the other side, Milwaukee is sending out Alexander, who started the year out of the bullpen and is still building up stamina. He's probably not going past 90 pitches. Detroit's offense isn't exactly lighting up the scoreboard, but they've been dependable, averaging 4 runs per game on this road trip. As our first pick for this matchup, the Detroit Tigers money line is our full game side pick. When these teams met last year, they combined to go over the total in 3 games, under in 2, and pushed in 1. On average, they scored nearly 9 runs per game together. But things are different heading into this series opener. The Brewers didn't do much offensively in Arizona and now have to face Skubal, which is hardly the matchup you want if you're trying to snap out of a slump. Milwaukee has already scored 3 runs or fewer in 8 different games this season. Detroit's offense, while not dominant, has been enough to keep them afloat, even though they've scored 4 or fewer runs in 3 of their last 4 contests. Historically, the under has hit in 5 of the last 10 matchups between these two clubs. This year, betting the under has generally been the safer move with both teams, especially when Skubal is the one taking the mound. He took home the Cy Young in the American League last year and is coming off a shutout performance against the Yankees. That's the kind of stuff he brings to the table, and he's more than capable of keeping Milwaukee quiet. The Brewers have been held to 2 runs or fewer in 2 of their last 4 and haven't been living up to expectations at the plate. They've gone under in 5 of their last 6 games, and the Tigers have gone under in 6 of their last 7. With Detroit's ace dealing and Milwaukee's offense struggling, don't expect a ton of runs here either. As our second pick for this matchup, under the projected total is our full game total pick. Minnesota Twins versus New York Mets. The New York Mets have kicked off the season with a solid 10-5 record after grabbing 2 wins in a 3-game set against the Athletics, taking those games by final scores of 7-6 and 8-0, while dropping the middle one 1-3. Before facing Oakland, the Mets took 2 out of 3 from the Marlins and swept a 3-game series against the Blue Jays. They've been putting together some good baseball lately, with a mix of timely hitting and decent pitching. On the other hand, the Minnesota Twins are off to a rough start at 5-11. They just dropped a series to Detroit, losing 2 of 3 with scores of 6-7, 0-4, and finally grabbing a win 5-1 in the last game. Before that, they lost 3 out of 4 to the Royals and came up short in another series against the Astros, managing just 1 win in 3 tries. It's been a tough stretch early in the year for Minnesota, with a few flashes of hope here and there. Coming into this new series, the Twins sit at 5-11, but they did end their last set on a positive note with a win on Sunday. That little momentum could be something they try to build on here. Minnesota's pitching hasn't been bad. They've kept games within reach, but their lineup has struggled to consistently drive in runs. The Mets, sitting at 10-5, have had no such problem offensively in recent games, scoring 7 or more runs in 3 of their last 5. On the mound, Clay Holmes will start for New York. He's had a passable beginning to the season, though he's let a few too many runners get on base. Minnesota counters with Joe Ryan, who's looked sharp so far. He's allowed 1 earned run or fewer in 2 of his 3 starts. I'm not sold on on Minnesota's offense pulling through, but I don't have much faith in Holmes either. As our first pick for this matchup, the Minnesota Twins money line is our full game side pick. Minnesota's pitching has been hanging in there, posting a 3.85 earned run average with a 1.22 WHIP and limiting opponents to a .239 batting average. The problem is at the plate, where the offense has only managed 55 runs while batting .208 with a .278 on base percentage. The Mets pitching staff has been stronger, carrying a 2.3 earned run average and a 1.2 WHIP, with opponents hitting just .216 against them. Offensively, they've plated 61 runs with a .215 batting average and a .302 OBP as our second pick for this matchup. Under the projected total is our full game total pick. Houston Astros versus St. Louis Cardinals. The Houston Astros are rolling into Busch Stadium in St. Louis, Missouri for a Monday night interleague matchup against the St. Louis Cardinals. It's the first game in a three-game set between these two clubs. The Astros had the upper hand last season, winning 2 of the 3 games when the series took place in Houston. The last time they visited Busch Stadium, things went pretty lopsided. Houston crushed the Cardinals with a commanding 14-0 victory on June 29, 2023. Lately, the Cardinals have been holding their own, especially when it comes to covering the run line. They've done so in 3 of their last 5 outings. Overall, they're sitting at 8-7 against the run line. At home, they've looked even better, covering in 6 of their 9 games. In matchups outside their division, they're showing up too, going 7-5 in those contests. After taking a loss, they tend to bounce back fairly well with a 5-3 record against the spread. Meanwhile, the Astros have had a rough time in interleague games, posting just a 1-5 run line record in those matchups. They've also been shaky when favored on the road, going 3-6 in that role. Even after picking up a win, Houston has only managed to cover once in their last 6 tries. I understand the logic in making the Astros the road favorite. Framber Valdez is a serious talent, but I really liked what the Cardinals showed against the Phillies over the weekend. Their pitching has been lights out lately. The Astros offense, on the other hand, has been hit or miss all season, and this could be another one of those off nights. As our first pick for this matchup, the St. Louis Cardinals to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. Looking at how Houston has fared in over-under totals on the road, they've gone 2-2 in those matchups. In their non-divisional games, 6 out of 9 have gone under the total. After coming off a win, 2 of those games also finished under, which points to a lean toward lower scoring affairs. The Cardinals are riding a similar wave. Each of their last 4 games has gone under, and when they've been home underdogs, 4 of the last 6 have ended the same way. We might see both offenses get bogged down in the early innings here. Like I mentioned earlier, there are some heavy arms taking the mound. If Framber Valdez and Sonny Gray look anything like they did last Tuesday, this could be a pitching duel. Both bullpens have been sharp too, and their underlying stats suggest it's no fluke. The Cardinals relievers are allowing just 0.16 home runs per 9 innings, while the Astros bullpen isn't far behind at 0.66 HR9. When you factor in all of this, the recent form, the pitching strength, and the totals trends, this one feels like it's leaning toward a lower score when it's all said and done. As our second pick for this matchup, under the projected total is our full game total pick. Chicago Cubs versus San Diego Padres. The Chicago Cubs, sitting at a 10-7 record, are gearing up for a showdown with the San Diego Padres, who have jumped out to a strong 12-3 start. This National League matchup is set to take place Monday night under the lights at Petco Park. The Padres are expected to be the favorites here, thanks to both their home field and the fact they're coming in with more rest. They've been playing some sharp baseball lately. The Cubs, meanwhile, are just coming off a tough, emotional series against the Dodgers, which makes this game a classic spot where a bit of a letdown could creep in. That said, Dylan Cease hasn't exactly been lights out so far. Through 3 starts, he's been shaky, giving up 13 hits and 10 runs over his last 10.1 innings pitched. Offensively, the Cubs have been holding their own. They've put up 4 or more runs in 11 of their last 14 games, which doesn't bode well for Cease finding his rhythm in this one. On the flip side, Jameson Taillon has looked a lot more comfortable lately after a rough first outing. In his last 12 innings, he's only allowed 9 hits and 5 runs, while striking out 13 batters. We hit a solid underdog play with the Cubs last night, and once again, the value at plus money makes them a compelling choice. As our first pick for this matchup, the Chicago Cubs money line is our full game side pick. The Cubs are putting up solid offensive numbers this year, hitting .256 as a team with a .348 on-base percentage and a .439 slugging percentage. Their pitching has been decent, too, holding a team earned run average of 4.02 and a WHIP of 1.35. The Padres, meanwhile, have been even hotter at the plate. They're hitting .283 on the season with a .348 OBP and a .423 slugging mark. Their pitching staff has been especially sharp, boasting a stingy 2.68 earned run average and a 1.04 WHIP as our second pick for this matchup. Over the projected total is our full game total pick. Colorado Rockies versus Los Angeles Dodgers. In the first matchup of a three-game set within the National League West, the Colorado Rockies headed to Dodger Stadium on Monday night to face the Los Angeles Dodgers. This series opener sets the tone as the Rockies aim to claw their way back toward relevance, while the Dodgers are focused on defending their championship title and keeping their eyes locked on another deep postseason run. Colorado enters this contest reeling from a tough series against the San Diego Padres, where they failed to score a single run over 3 games and were outscored 16-0. Their offense managed just 9 hits across the entire series, a brutal stretch by any standard. Meanwhile, the Dodgers are licking their wounds too, having just dropped 2 straight games to the Chicago Cubs. One of those losses was a lopsided 16-0 defeat, and the other came in at 4-2. Neither squad has much momentum right now, so both will be looking to turn things around in this one. Taking the hill for the Rockies will be Antonio Senzatela, while the Dodgers are sending out Dustin May. Senzatela has thrown 14 innings this season, allowing 10 runs on 27 hits. Most of the damage came in his last start, where he gave up 9 of those runs, although the hits have been spread out across his appearances. On the flip side, May has been sharp. He's gone 11 innings, giving up just 4 runs on 4 hits, and comes into this matchup boasting a stingy 0.82 earned run average. What's more, the Rockies have only managed to score 3 runs across their last 6 games on the road, which says a lot about how much their bats depend on the home field advantage of Coors Field. Their away record stands at 1-8, while the Dodgers have been dominant at home with a 7-1 record. It's also worth pointing out that only 2 of Colorado's games this season have been decided by a single run. All signs suggest this might be a worst-case scenario for the Rockies, and an ideal opportunity for the Dodgers to snap back into form. Sure, there's always a case for an underdog, and fans of long shots might be tempted by Colorado. But let's be real, the Rockies just don't bring the same energy outside of Denver. Their offense has gone flat lately, and Senzatela, who's been giving up hard contact all season, looks ripe for the picking. May's been dealing, and this feels like the perfect storm where the Dodgers can do some serious damage. As our first pick for this matchup, the Los Angeles Dodgers to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. Even though the Rockies have had a hard time putting runs on the board, they've still managed to hit the over in 3 of their last 4 contests. The Dodgers have been doing their part too, with the total going over in 4 of their previous 5 heading into Sunday's game. Los Angeles already has 29 homers on the season, and Senzatela's shaky numbers of 5.14 earned run average and 2.14 WHIP should give them plenty of chances to add to that tally. Expect fireworks in this one, and a scoreboard that lights up early and often. As our second pick for this matchup, over the projected total is our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed. Subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.